to explore what best exploits strategy to the point it would make Sun Tzu, the author of The Art of War, proud. Welcome to Anime List, and here is Top 10 Strategy Anime. Number 10. KAIJI, Ultimate Survivor. Kaiji Ito is a victim of Japan's Great Recession starting from the 1990s. He is educated but he can't find suitable employment and is circumstantially forced into debt. So he has the choice of either doing hard labor for nearly 10 years to pay it off or spend a night on a gambling cruise to clear it out. So what choice does he make? He takes the cruise. From there, that is where the mind game starts to happen. Kaiji is about what some people would do when they are at their absolute lowest. In most cases, their survival instinct kicks in and they can go as far as stabbing one another in the back. While Kaiji has his own problems, he's trying to help other people but they take advantage of his developing good nature. But the thing about Kaiji is that like all good gamblers, it is all not about luck but really about the right poker face. If he knows his opponent is bluffing, he'll bluff back until they break. Number 9. One Out. This anime focuses on the strategy aspect both on the field and in business. Towa's exclusive experience in pitching prior to his pro debut was just his games of one outs, but with the right guidance and motivation, he can not only become rich but a champion. Towa is a gambler first and a baseball player second, so he sees his game nothing more as a game of cards. Towa's strategy relies on cold reading and getting the opposing batter to react in a way he wants them to, sometimes not for the sake of striking them out, but to get them emotionally riled up to consequently get them ejected. His tactics makes him a little dirty, but if they're within the rules, anything goes. In some instances, he uses his Okinawan background to his advantage on rainy days. If you want to see how he plays these tactics, you need to see it to find out. Number 8. Psychopaths. If Minority Report were to have an anime adaptation, it would certainly be Psychopaths. In the 22nd century, law enforcement is done through the civil system or Psychopaths. It allows real-time psychological evaluation of citizens and what their threat level is through their surveillance system. Unfortunately, the officials that are sworn to protect the people are now abusing the system for their personal gain, and it's up to Akane Tsunemori to bring back true law and order. Its strategic qualities tend to center around conducting law enforcement. Akane and her partner are attempting to pursue a suspect who is difficult to catch because he commits his crime through a proxy, and no evidence can be directly linked to him. So do they have to resort to drastic measures that would violate human rights? Or do they do it in the old-fashioned way with concepts such as warrants and Miranda warnings? Number 7. Joker Game. Based on the novel series by Koji Yanagi, Joker Game takes place in World War II. Even before the Cold War made espionage cool with James Bond, the Empire of Japan experiments with the concept of an organization called the D Agency, composed of highly trained and talented young men. Unfortunately, the agency is looked down upon by other military officers, believing that such tactics are dishonorable. When Lieutenant Colonel Yuki, the head of the agency, thinks that suicide for your country or when dishonored is ridiculous. However, he hopes with the agency, he can prove his ideas are effective and more realistic. Not only is the strategy based around fighting the enemy overseas, the agency has enemies within the government they serve, thanks to bureaucracy. To make things more interesting, the spies within the unit have a competition of who can win, which is more of a reflection of Japanese culture in both academics and the real world. Number 6. Monster. Dr. Kenzo Tenma is a successful brain surgeon working at a prestigious hospital in Germany and is set to marry the daughter of his boss. However, one fateful night changes everything when he has to choose between operating on a little boy or the mayor. Though the administration orders him to make the mayor a priority, he decides to operate on the boy and the surgery is a success, but at the cost of the mayor. 9 years later, Dr. Tenma's sins come back to haunt him when Johan, the boy he saved, is accused of numerous deaths. Feeling responsible, Dr. Tenma takes it upon himself to stop Johan. In context to how this works as a strategy series, it heavily emphasizes on manipulation. Though the traditional villain cliché is if you want something done, you got to do it yourself, Johan tends to be the opposite. Johan comes across as unassuming and as a nice guy. Number 5. Death Note. Death Note is the ultimate game of cat and mouse. Thanks to Light's intellect, resources, and connections, he knows what the authorities are up to. Ellen Light's plans go as far as their contingencies having contingencies. Light can have his Death Note hidden in a drawer, but if in the event it is discovered, he has a bomb connected to it. Light does everything possible to know what he can and can't do with the note, but when worse comes to worse, Light can devoid himself of suspicion by passing the Death Note to other people he deems worthy. Ellen Light's relationship ultimately comes down to keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer. But in this instance, who uses this strategy the best? If you haven't, please check out Death Note to find out. Number 4. No Game, No Life. The brother-sister duo of Sora and Shiro are famous on the internet as Ku Haku, meaning blank, a wordplay of the kanji symbols of their names. Though they are respected on the internet for being unstoppable in the world of MMORPGs, Sora and Shiro are actually shut-ins who have trouble living on the outside world. After emerging victorious in an online game of chess against a mysterious opponent, they are transported to the gaming world of this board. After learning how their new home world works in conjunction with games, they set out to conquer. Shiro and Sora may be gamers at heart, but they demonstrate great intelligence and use that to their advantage when necessary, such as when they play a game of Shiritori, a Japanese word connecting game. And there are instances where drastic times call for drastic measures. When Sora plays chess against Kurami, he manipulates the chit to his advantage in order to win. So in strategy, karma can come back to haunt you when you least expect it. Number 3. Legend of Galactic Heroes, Ninga Eiyu Densetsu. In the far distant future, mankind has migrated to the deep reaches of space. The two governments in conflict are the Alliance of Free Planets and the Galactic Empire. Our two main leads are Yang Wenli, Free Planets, and Reinhardt, the Galactic Empire. Though mortal enemies, both men have profound respect for each other. Can they use that respect to get together and bring peace across the galaxy? Unfortunately, other factors prevent that from coming into play. A lot of strategic qualities are strongly focused on Yang Wenli. If you could put some of the courage of Captain Kirk, the diplomacy of Captain Picard into one character, it has to be Wenli. Number 2. Code GEASS, Lelouch of the Revolution. In Code GEASS, what could arguably be the most ruthless superpower is the Britannian Empire. A little over 10 years after conquering Japan and reclassifying it as Area 11, Lelouch, the exiled prince of Britannia, stages his comeback to dethrone his father as Zero, a masked freedom fighter. Thanks to his newly found GEASS power, where he can command anyone to do almost anything, he is on his way to accomplishing his goals and liberating Japan. Even without GEASS, Lelouch is already a master tactician. Upon receiving his powers, he doesn't abuse it like crazy. He actually experiments what he can and can't do within simple daily conversations and works his way up. Lelouch can avoid any suspicion thanks to his less than stellar academic record and that he is physically weak. But by the appealing to the ideals of the people, with his amazing charisma as Zero, he can rally the right army to his cause. Initially, his guerrilla tactics would resort to some collateral damage, and he felt it was both an unfortunate and natural part of his war. Number 1. The Heroic Legend of Arslan, Arslan Senki. In the year Pars era 320, the kingdom of Pars has ruled the lands with an iron fist. However, they suffered their first defeat to the neighboring Lusitania Empire, and the king has fallen into their hands. Arslan the prince manages to escape with his life thanks to the help of one of his kingdom's greatest and most loyal warriors, Darium. Together, they must rebuild an army to reclaim the kingdom. While the conflict in Legend of Galactic Heroes tends to be a stalemate between Reinhardt and Yang Wenli, Arslan has to start from scratch and work his way up. In the beginning of Arslan Senki, we see that Arslan's father favors brute strength over tactics because it's the manly thing to do. Unfortunately, his game plan works against him in the opening battle. What do you think about the video? Please let us know in the comment below and don't forget to subscribe.